and welcome back to Art's World. I'm on a location in Tunisia by the Mediterranean shore. Across the seas off the American coastline, an underwater project has been dreamed up. It's an art city which is built on an artificial reef. It cost $20 million, but the creators have come up with an unusual way to fund it.
Well, there's never anything been done on this scale in an artificial reef anywhere.
A few years ago, two men in Florida had an unusual vision. They wanted to build an underwater city.
The city is 4 miles straight that way in 40 to 45 feet of water on nothing but sand. The new reef is being born.
A bizarre statistic claiming 1 out of every 3 Americans wants to be buried at sea prompted businessman Gary Levine to come up with the idea to create a resting place beneath the waves. His friend, artist and sculptor Kim Brandel saw this as a unique opportunity to showcase his own creative skills.
This is the first project that I've ever done underwater. Well, he came to me knowing that I've been a sculptor for over 30 years and knew that I could take care of the designing and building of the project.
The plan is to build an enormous artificial reef on which hundreds of large metal and concrete designs will be built.
Well, the first idea was for it to be obviously the sunken city of Atlantis or something similar. I did not want to copy anybody's ideas, renderings, or whatever. I wanted to do my own thing. So I've been influenced, of course, by growing up and looking at Roman and Greek architecture, although I wanted to design my columns to look different, of course, perhaps a little futuristic or contemporary.
The columns are also unique because they are made with concrete mixed with human ashes, complete with memorial plaques.
These are actually cremated remains that have been cast into the molds, and these will go inside of the top of these lentils here. Pretty much all of the sculpting is my job. But the mold making itself, I have craftsmen that I work with to do all of that type of work. This void here is where we take the placements, which is the cremated remains mixed with cement, and it's put down inside. Then on the sides there are recessed areas where the bronze plaques go with their name on it.
It may be art, but there's a commercial angle. They expect thousands of people will pay to make the reef their final resting place. This money will help complete the project. And as algae grows over the statues, Kim expects the site to attract fish and other marine life, thereby making it an attractive dive destination.
Most of my career in the last 20 years has been large-scale projects, which has given me some of the experience to take on this project. The engineer said we can't have a lot of sharp edges because they're going to be worn off. It has roads, and all the roads go to 41 feature areas. And these feature areas will be themed differently. They will have their own feature sculptures in them. I've tried to incorporate as many different size voids and holes that I can for the different size of fish. I've made the surface very porous so that all of the corals and polyps and that stuff could grab hold of the concrete easily.
To book a placement in the reef starts at about $2,000. That's cheaper than paying for a burial.
To complete the entire 16-acre city could take between 7 and 10 years. We've estimated that it could cost $20 million to build it. In 50 years from now, it will look more like a natural reef. This is my mark on Earth.
Elsewhere in the Arab world, another woman is using her creativity to make an impact. Umayya Juha is the first woman cartoonist to work for a Palestinian newspaper. In the hotbed of Gaza, her political satire is both popular and revolutionary.
Here, along the shores of Gaza City, in the besieged Gaza Strip, art, politics, and journalism meet in the pen of Umayya, arguably the Arab world's leading female cartoonist.
I was born in the city of Gaza in 1972, but I am part of a family of refugees from Al-Muharraqa, one of Palestinian villages that was attacked by the invading Zionists in 1948. Growing up in Gaza, we lived in a very simple home. I remember how the rain used to dribble through the roof.
Umayya reflects in her cartoons the harsh realities of refugee life, which she knows all too well.
Our family was dispersed. My father was far away, and my mother overburdened with responsibilities. I captured this unpleasant life with my quill even before I went to school. Children appreciate art and understand cartoons. Children recognize me. They know me as Umayya, the cartoonist.
Umayya has one daughter, Noor, from her first husband, a Hamas fighter killed during an Israeli incursion. During my secondary schooling, I began reading newspapers, and of course the cartoons on the back page of Al-Quds, which was the newspaper I read every day. I would see the drawings of the artists Naji Al-Ali and Mahmoud Khail and be fascinated by them, although I was very young. Editorial cartoonists are revered as journalists and artists throughout the Arab world. One of the most recognizable symbols of Palestinian society is Handala, the ragged 10-year-old Palestinian refugee, always viewed from behind, observing the world. Handala's creator, Naji Al-Ali, was assassinated in London in 1987. His body riddled with bullets, his killer never found. Even though he has been dead for many years now, may his soul rest in peace. His pen is alive, and his work addresses many of our contemporary issues. Every cartoonist has his own style. A cartoon is about a single event or moment. Many people will be drawing this moment, but in completely different ways. The successful cartoonist is a person who is sensitive to people and realities around them. Their work ultimately becomes a reflection of life. This is the beauty of the cartoon. It's a kind of competition between artists. Who has the most brilliant ideas and execution, and who is able to sway the public and win them over? Umayya is the sole woman in a club of at least 12 cartoonists whose works are published in newspapers read across the West Bank and Gaza. Palestine's leading cartoonist and elder statesman, the award-winning Bahah Bukhari, points to the qualities that underscore the values of a great newspaper cartoonist. His character, Abu al-Abd, appears in the daily Al-Ayam, published in Ramallah.
My cartoons should be speaking about the people, not from political point, not this Hamas, this Fatah, no, the ordinary people.
In one instance, one of Umayya's cartoons is believed to have prompted a violent backlash. After an Israeli invasion of Gaza in 2004, she depicted Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon as a boastful politician, oblivious to the dead and decapitated Israeli soldiers standing behind him. The Islamist newspaper Al-Risala printed Umayya's cartoon. The next day, the Israelis bombed the Risala newspaper. While badly damaged, Al-Risala began printing again, and Umayya continues to be their featured cartoonist. For the first day of Ramadan 2008, she commented on the bloody Hamas-Fatah split by drawing a Palestinian mother on her balcony, praying to heaven that her children, the Palestinians, might eat their Ramadan meal at the same table together again. Unfortunately, we are living in a time when our people are divided and splintered. It's a good time for a cartoonist to become both a commentator and observer, and to use one's influence. Umayya is today happily remarried,
Yet the situation in Gaza has worsened. With fighting between the two main political parties, Hamas and Fatah, Umayyah is never short of subject matter.
The Palestinian division created a schism in every Palestinian home. And God willing, we will overcome those divisions. My hope is that I can leave my imprint in the drawing of cartoons in the Arab world.
And that's it from here in Tunisia. Join us for another episode of Art's World.